Howdy, it's Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And as many of you know, we have 4 clinics on our first 3 years in practice.
If you're ready to level up your business, find us at paththovictorychiro.com to get on the path to victory. Everyone says chiropractic isn't scalable. It's the lie that we're told in school that you have to work more to make more. And we are going to dispel that myth today. We're going to talk about what we did and why the model of chiropractic that most chiropractors use is broken from the start. So in school, we're taught that chiropractic is like any service model. It's like a trade. You charge based on the hours that you're there and working on the patient. But we have actually come to find and learn that that is not the case at all. Through leadership, through mentorship, through training your staff, training good associates, training good doctors, you can actually make more without having to see more patients.
Yeah, and a big myth that people talk about is that chiropractic is not scalable because it's a service. And service is hard to scale. We know that. Then we have product is hard to scale as well. What is easier is a software. So it goes in that order. Service is going to be harder as you need to be present, and it's going to take more time to train someone to do it like you.
Right.
And you're dealing with people. Let's say it like that. And in 2025, you're still dealing with people. There's no enough AI yet. So you need to train people. You need to put your time into people. You need to put your energy. So, the biggest investment that you have is your time. Yeah. So you're sacrificing time at this moment to scale. Okay. Then when we talk about product, you need to have manufacturing. You have to have those products in stock to make sure, so you're still spending a lot of money into it. And then the software, I don't know how to deal with that, honestly, but they say it doesn't need a lot to scale because, that you can automate a lot of different things. Yep. So let's talk about this. So to scale, a lot of chiropractors have told me, especially while we were in school, a person that we were listening a lot told us it's hard to scale because of blah, 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 blah. You cannot do it, it's impossible to do it. But then recently I heard that if it's hard here and you try to go somewhere else, it's going to be even harder, So if it's hard, it's a good thing because that means you're doing the correct thing.
Going to a different industry.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. So as long as you figured out the hard part of it, okay, and you can combat that hard part, then you're going to be able to scale. But if you just ignore it and you focus on the lady on the red dress, you're going to get distracted. You're going to go to a different industry to try to scale something that you don't even know. Yeah. It's another distraction that is going to consume a lot of your time. And at the end of the day, it's going to be even harder to scale. Yeah. So whatever you think is hard here on the left side is going to be even harder on the right side. And that's what happened to us as well. As I entered a stage that I started listening to that person. So I started buying Airbnbs, and that was super hard to scale. And we lost a lot of money out of it, but we gained a lot of experience. But I will never do it again, because our office suffered. So at this moment, what we focused on the past year was consistency to be able to scale, correct? Yep. And that has helped us a lot. Yep. What do we mean with that? We were doing the boring stuff over and over and over, repetition. So consistency is one of the main sources for scaling.
That's right. And simplicity scales, right? So we always try to overcomplicate things. What's the next greatest software I could use? What's the next greatest modality? What's the next doctor I could bring in or the next instrument? And at the end of the day, simplicity will scale it. The more things that you try to add, whether it's software or new technology or new modalities, new decompression, new shockwave, whatever. I don't even know what that is, but the more that you try to add, actually it complicates your systems. It complicates your ability to scale, and it's going to make it even harder to do so.
And how we were talking actually with the scale, we're in the service industry, so we're going to have to invest a lot of our time.
Yes. And
with the time, we're trying to... So when we're not in the office, we're working on the office. That's when the magic happens. We could be more creative, more ideas come. We could do the meetings and establish better systems, scale better. But when we did the review to our associates and to the C8s, most of them were saying that they want more time with us.
Yes. Yep.
So I was like, what do you mean with more time? Do you want me adjusting more, or do you want me, there was never a clear answer, but I know what it is they want to spend more time with us, basically for more training, pick our brains. And that's totally fair. So Me, selfishly, I'm saying, why? But then the other me saying, I should go there, pour into them, because the more I pour into them, the more we can scale the clinic.
Exactly.
Especially if we're going to bring another associate
Yep.
this upcoming year, as we're already hiring, I want to pour into the associates more and more and more, because if they can act more like me when I'm done in the clinic, that's scalable. You see that? And then I could go somewhere else and pour into them, and that's more scalable. So it's going to be like a cycle if we can pour here, here, here. But even better, if I can pour into the associate, and then I could go here to pour, and the associate can pour more here as well, then we have two people pouring into each other, and more people can pour into each other. That's a mindset that we have with Victory.
Yes.
Right? Because you can pour into someone, and then that person could keep pouring into different other people.
Yep.
And that's our goal, including with our staff as well.
Yeah.
So now that they want that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a morning that I didn't see patients. I'm going to go into the clinic, and I'm just going to meet with them one-on-one during that day, every other week, and see what we need to work more. You need more leadership. Let's work on this leadership aspect. It's going to be an investment, though. And it's not going to be anything that is going to change in 1 month. There's going to have to be consistency as well. We're going to see the results, not this quarter, but probably in the next quarter. My goal is to see it before the end of the year, and that means we could scale even more. But what happened with the people that say the service industry is not scalable? That is a leadership problem, and that happens a lot with chiropractic, and you've seen it. I was recently on a Facebook group, and they say, how do you deal with burnout? And people were like, just be a street chiropractor, stop mixing. And they were saying silly things. It's no, just have a system. If you have your CAs and you're a good leader, they're going to make your life easier.
Yes.
Because people ask us how is your clinic doing so good? Well, because we pour into the staff, and the staff basically runs the clinic.
Yeah.
So who pour into the staff? We did.
Yeah.
But I want the staff to get the credit.
Yeah.
Because I don't need the credit. The staff has to get the credit because they're doing the daily stuff.
Yeah.
But without the staff, without the correct staff on the correct seat, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So in that aspect, as leadership as well, you need to understand, if this person is a talker, put her on therapy. If this person is efficient on the computer, put her on the front. If this person is pretty smart, she could do a consultation for you. So it's just knowing you can hire for a front desk, and that interview you see an aspect from that person that is not a front desk, but it's actually a super high IQ. Just hire her. And you're gonna find a seat for that person, or him. You're gonna find a seat for that person. So it's basically comes to how to be a leader. It's what's gonna basically tell you. It's gonna help you to scale consistency and leadership. So a lot of people that told us about that chiropractic is not scalable, when you look at that person is not a leader. It's someone you don't want to be like. So why are we even listening to that? And that's a mistake we did early in practice.
Yeah, the biggest roadblock to scaling is you. It's yourself. If you think that you can wear all these hats and do everything and run payroll and answer phones and do the scheduling, you're never going to grow. You're trying to run the show without releasing control, and that's actually hindering you from growing. So the biggest thing that we learn to scale is to delegate. Hire the right people, put them in the right seat, pour into them, love on them, treat them really well, and they're going to literally run the business for you. All you have to do is show up and adjust.
And reward them well, because I know when our staff bonus, they're doing more than someone with a high degree working the 8 to 5. And that's my goal. My goal is for them to bonus as much as they can.
Yep.
Because I want to take care of my people. And the problem that chiropractors have is that they say I cannot scale, but they don't know how to keep their associates.
And they pay their associates, or they pay their staff $10 an hour.
Because they just try to keep the associate for them to have more free time. But I don't look at it like that. I'm looking about how can I create a leader here that person could pour into it, but it's because we're in a bigger mission, and they're into the mission as well. We want to help more chiropractors to help more communities.
Yes.
And our staff is on board with that, and the associates as well. So our associates know whenever a chiropractor comes here, they need to pour energy into them. So that's why I want to pour energy into the associate. That way, whenever someone comes to train, we can all pour the energy into them. So it's not, don't be selfish. Treat your doctors as doctors. Treat them well. If they want a vacation, let them vacation. Today we had a conversation with them that they need to take a weekend for themselves, because they're always traveling just to see family. So hey, take a Thursday and Friday off until Sunday and go to Austin or wherever you want. Just you two, focus on each other. Go on date nights, because if they're not doing good, on their house, they're not going to do good on the clinic. So just make sure as well as a leader that their personal life is good. You don't have to be in their business, but you could give advice. I remember the advice that our mentor gave us. It's like, hey, pour into each other, go on weekly day nights,
Yes.
once a quarter, get a long weekend. Now we're able to take a week. I want our associates to take a long weekend once a quarter. Next year, I want them to take a whole week, on the future, I want them to take a month, because that way they come with more energy.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of questions that we receive is like, when's the right time to hire an associate? How much do you pay an associate? We just happened, this is like the Lord's work. Our associate came at the perfect time. We had just had Luca. We were actually sitting in the NICU when Dr. Bryce called us and was like, hey, can I come shadow you guys? I'd love to like see what it's like there. And we were like, perfect. Yes, come here. And we truthfully probably didn't like need an associate by number wise and like financial wise. Like, I don't know if we were quite ready, especially for the amount of time and like training it took to pour into her, but it was the best decision we have ever made because she's amazing and she's so trainable, so coachable, and we've poured into her and now she's stepping up as a leader. So it takes obviously some time initially, but once you pour in and make the time investment and the financial investment into somebody, then your company, your business, your chiropractic office can grow from there. And I think that's what people don't get and like why associateships don't work out is because they don't treat their associates well. Either they're not paying them enough or they don't give them adequate time off because by the time a doc hires an associate, they're so burnt out. They're like, get me out of this clinic, get me away from patients and just have my associate take over. And that's not a good model to scale and grow. That's actually terrible. You're putting both of you guys in a losing situation. And that is something we have tried really, really hard to avoid because of what my siblings went through in their associateship experience. Not that they had terrible experiences, but there were a lot of things that could have been better. And we want to make our associates experience that much better. And so we try our hardest to pay them well, we bonus them well, and we give them adequate time off, like more time off than we probably took in the first 2 years. But it's really important that we treat our people well because like what you said, they run the show. Our staff literally runs a show.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that stood out in Missouri at Dr. Whalen's clinic, when I first got there, they were doing $2 million a year at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, like, never saw him adjust. I never saw any of the other doctors like doing anything special. It was literally the staff, the way that they greet you, the way that they treat you, the way that you come in and you feel like family and you feel welcomed and there's worship music playing, like that's all on the staff. And so the way that we created a scalable model is literally staff. They are everything. They are the missing piece to the puzzle. And so I implore you, if you are a chiropractor and you don't have staff and you're like, I'm just going to run the show, definitely hire somebody because they can help you grow from 0 to 100, and it just completely changes the game. So this is our model in Victory. This is part of what we do. We're really big on staff and family and associates and just loving on our people because we're big believers of if you treat your people well, they treat you well, and you're going to help so many more people because of it, which is the ultimate mission. So if you want to get to know us better, please check us out on path2victorychiro.com. And then our Facebook group is Path to Victory. We'd love to connect with you. We share our wins, we share our losses, our mistakes, our failures, and everything in between. And I hope to see you guys soon.